now too.
Off to a strong start. I love the Fozzie Bear painting.
Oh, you do? Thanks.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Did you see the gold I put in it?
Yeah, it's so cool. Your stuff has really gotten, not that it ever wasn't great, but it's really the prior one that you have in the Comedy Store back bar.
Yeah.
It's just like really fucking good, man.
Thanks, dude.
It's excellent work. Like the multimedia work you have in there.
Oh, great.
All the little Easter eggs you have inside the Richard Pryor, like the collage work is really great.
Thanks. Do you like the Chris Farley one too?
Love it. If I had more money, I'd commission you for one of those.
I appreciate it. I got Sandy Danto as my guest on my first with Brady Matthews, episode 22. Thanks for doing this, dude. I appreciate it. Every time I start off with this, it sounds like sweaty balls. Remember that podcast?
Yeah.
The fucking Saturday Night Live is like sweaty balls. Yeah. So you have a kid now. You're married. I've known you for what, 12 years now?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
I know.
That is crazy. You still go on the road with Paulie?
Once in a while, yeah.
Do you get
not as much? I used to be on the road with him, like 20 plus 30 some weeks a year.
He doesn't get crazy at all on the road, does he?
Not anymore. I mean, once in a great while, but he never really did.
He doesn't really like drink or anything, does he?
He'll have a couple drinks, but he doesn't like. He's not like.
Doesn't get wild, but not like the back.
Dude,
of the
I'm not trying to get. Dude, get a little buzz maybe, but
That's
like
so good.
But like, you can dance with the devil, but don't become him.
Oh my god, so good. Can you do any other impressions? Because I know you were putting an SNL tape together, and you can do. Can you do it, John Belushi, or is it more of the act?
It's more of the act. It's more the face and the gestures.
Yeah.
He kind of has a little bit of a higher voice,
and then he gets loud.
And he's from Chicago, so he has got a little bit of that
Chicago accent.
And then he has a little bit of a crescendo.
Yeah,
I blew out. Yeah,
yeah, that's so good. Did you ever heard anything from that? Did you at all? Or?
I auditioned and then nothing happened.
Yeah, isn't
and
that the best?
Got an agent and then they dropped me.
Yeah, that sounds.
They set me up for failure and were like, "Well, it's your fault."
That's exactly what happened.
No hard feelings.
Yeah, I got with some pretty big agents and managers, and they're like, "Well, we sent you out on 3 auditions, and you didn't get them. So, but thanks."
Yeah, we sent you out on 3 auditions. That when you went back after the audition, thought you were doing pretty good.
Yeah,
you went into the waiting room and saw people you grew up watching in movies.
Right, totally. And they're like, "By the way, do you know Adam Ray's number?" And you're like, "Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it." Do you have a first awful audition you've ever had? Like, do you remember an audition you wanted to go in for?
Every single one of them.
Well, I doubt that because you've been in the game for so long.
I got much better at auditioning this year.
Right.
But before this year, man, I this is gonna sound weird for somebody to say. I'm a really good actor. I just am. I wouldn't have come out here and spent the last 13 years here if I wasn't.
Yeah.
There are people who are delusional. I'm not. My track record speaks for itself. The stuff I've been in is well received.
You did Benji's show, didn't you? You did a little spot on Benji's show?
For I did like a 2-second wide shot, yeah.
But that's great. I remember I went in for an audition. I thought I did great. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get that. And they gave it to Francisco.
I thought you were going to get it too.
Yeah. They gave it to Francisco because they had to fill an ethnic thing or whatever.
Dude,
I'm like...
The only feedback I ever get is... They loved you, but it's got to be a diversity hire. I'm like, I look brown.
Dude, I fine. I'm Armenian. How about that? Done.
Yeah. I'm Portuguese. How much Portuguese representation is there in Hollywood?
Yeah, Sandy Dantozzi's.
Yeah, exactly. Dantosian.
Dantosian. I mean Brady Matthewsian.
Sammy Dantosian.
We just started an Armenian tour. We just go on tour as the Armenian comics now.
Oh my God, a manager told me that I need to start doing ethnic characters so people think that I'm ethnic.
Do you still have a manager and agent right now?
Not right now.
Isn't that
just got rid of the manager after the agent dropped me.
How long did you have the manager for?
Like 3-4 years.
You remember your first manager or first agent?
Yeah. So wait, before I tell you about my first manager and first agent, I'll tell you about
your first awful
audition.
Okay.
It was actually for the real world.
What? Really?
I went to go see when I first moved out here. I went to go see my friends play dodgeball at Poinsettia Park, and I was being loud and obnoxious, cheering for them. And somebody was like, "We want you to be on the real world." And I went in there.
Were you like, "This is how it starts"?
Yeah. I was like, I already made it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do reality, but I'll give it a shot. And I went in there, and I was so cocky because I was like, who cares about reality? And I was just an asshole, and it was so awkward and uncomfortable. And they were like, they told me that I couldn't smoke weed while I was on the show. I was like, well, I'm out.
Right.
I was like, don't you want me to? They're like, no, it kind of makes people lazy and boring. I
Yeah,
was
cut
like,
to 15 years later, and everyone's like, do you have a weed pen or what do
Right.
you got? Like, if you don't smoke weed now, you're kind of weird.
yeah.
So Real World was a tough one, huh?
Yeah,
What was awkward about it? Talk to me. Was it because you just weren't like vibing with them?
You know
or
what? It was more I was trying to be funny instead of just being myself.
Just being funny.
And so I was 4 months into LA. I didn't get it yet.
Yeah. Where are you from?
The Detroit area.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Born and raised in Detroit.
Just outside Detroit.
Of course.
Because the real Detroit people will be like, oh yeah, what part? And I tell them, and they're like,
you're like Flint. I don't know.
like I told Doc Willis, and he's like, man, you ain't from Detroit.
Yeah. Where is Doc these days? Is he doing good?
I think he is. I hope so. Love Doc.
I haven't seen Doc in forever. He's like, what's up, man?
Yeah, son.
Yeah, yeah. So they be taping up in the main room, no? So you've been doing stand-up now for, you've been doing stand-up now for what, 12, 13 years?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. We all started at the same time, basically.
know.
Me, you, Benji, Tony, all those guys.
Tony and Matt Edgar and Dan Mendonia used to live on my couch.
Does Matt, what does Matt do now?
He's still doing it. He's still in the cut.
He's still in the game?
Yeah, he's got a really great scripted podcast called Kevin's Cryptids.
Really?
Yeah, I'm giving other people's credits.
Right.
Shit.
Don't you have a podcast?
Yeah, it's called MFers, formerly Motherfuckers, but we ran into some branding problems, and search problems. It's hard to search for asterisks. So
Yeah, that is tough.
MFer is a parenting podcast. We actually recorded here.
You do? Well, I was going to say, because now you have a kid. You're a first-time dad.
I'm a first-time dad.
Did you ever think you'd have a fucking kid? I don't even think I'll ever have kids, personally.
I've always wanted to be a dad. I never,
Really?
once I moved out here,
You didn't think it was ever going to happen?
I was like, if it happens, it happens. Probably not, though. And then, when I started doing better with the ladies, because when I moved out here, it killed my confidence, because I would just hit on girls and it'd just be like nothing. Because this is
No, tell it.
when I first moved out here, I was still a huge drinker.
Right.
I drink once in a while now, but not really,
Right, but what would you say?
But I was like,
you were blacking?
I didn't know until I was like 27. I didn't know the purpose of drinking wasn't to black out as soon as possible.
Yeah, like get a shot and a beer. That's a great
Get two shots and a beer,
But people that
and
do
then
it,
another shot to chase
like
the beer.
I still hang out with buddies of mine. Like we'll go watch some games, but we're like, yeah, let me get a shot and let me get the biggest beer you got, and I'm like, that feels like a problem.
Right, I used to just be like, let's pregame, and
then we'll see
I
what
would
happens.
drink like as much of a fifth as I could, and then
Wow.
go out and get drinks.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's hard to talk to girls when you're fucking blacked.
Right. And so this one time my friends were passing around shots, and when the shot just
Hits you
it
the
doesn't
wrong
go
way.
down right.
Yes.
And I had a hair trigger reaction. I just threw up on this girl's back.
No, you threw up on her back?
I took the shot and I felt it not go down right, and I turned to my left and I just throw up. Like I thought it was gonna be one of those burps, but it was just like
Oh, that's so gross.
it was a splash, and she was. We were both mortified, and I was like,
so
"I'm
pissed.
sorry, I'm so sorry," and I managed to charm her and apologize. I was like,
Don't tell me this is your wife now.
No. That's a whole other story. But I was like, I'm so sorry. I was making fun of myself and getting her to laugh a little bit. And I was like, let me take care of the dry cleaning. I'm really sorry. Why don't you give me your number and I'll take care of the dry cleaning. And she's like, and she's like, wait. I'm not giving a dude who just puked on me my number. I was like, no, not for that.
Sandy,
I was like, not for that. And she's like, I know what you're doing. And I was like, and
what if that was your signature move?
you know what? I thought about making it my move.
That'd be hilarious, dude. Just every time you're like, wait, hold on. I think I know who this guy is. Did he puke on your back and ask for your number? You're like, yeah. You're like, does he have curly hair and like a mustache? Yes. Does his name rhyme with Randy? Yes. Okay.
I pregame with syrup of Ipecac.
Yeah. That's the worst. So, did you go to college in Detroit, or would you?
I went to Indiana University.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What did you study?
I double majored
Wow.
in communications and telecommunications because a lot of the classes counted for both.
Yeah.
I was just like, why not?
Do you remember how exciting it was when you first went to college? You were like, "This is gonna be the best time of my life."
You want to know something funny?
Was it the best time of your life?
It was the best time of my life for sure. I've got an extremely good, almost torturously good memory. I remember,
Are you good with dialogue?
yeah, I'm pretty good with dialogue.
That's terrifying.
But I remember so much vivid memories from high school, middle school, elementary school, even when I was a little kid. But college, I have very little memory of. And I partied in high school and I partied after college, but just for some reason don't remember much of those years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did you smoke a lot of weed in college?
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah. I dabbled.
I dabbled, yeah. But I didn't go into college. So my girlfriend dumped me right after senior year.
Okay, go ahead.
And I was devastated. And it was my first love.
Yeah.
I spent the whole summer just binge drinking and being self-destructive, getting in fights. I'm not a fighter.
I was going to say, you don't seem like a fighter.
Here's what would happen. I would go to parties and I would like instigate.
So you were the instigator guy. So
Yeah.
you were the guy in the middle, and then what's
I was the guy that would get punched for being for.
You don't have a punchable
provoking
face.
people.
You don't have a punchable
I don't.
face.
I got punched in the side of the head.
That's the worst. You ever been punched in the throat before?
No.
Do you remember your first fight?
I mean, I got in fights on the schoolyard, but
Like your very first fight, though. Do you remember that? I remember I was so scared.
yeah, I was. It's so funny. I was talking shit, and this kid ran at me and punched me in the side of the head, and I had a welt the size of a baseball. And then afterward, we were like, "Get your boys. We're gonna go fight. Get your fucking boys." And we were both calling the same tough guy we were friends with to come have our back.
That's
It's so stupid.
You guys always had that one guy that could fight, and then like you needed him.
Yeah.
That's the only way you felt confident
Yeah.
against anyone else. And if they didn't show up, you're like, we should reschedule.
Yeah.
We should reschedule this fight.
Wait, what are you up to Tuesday? No.
That doesn't work. Well,
Wednesday morning before school?
Yeah, my mom's gonna drop us off, so maybe she can pick you guys up. What did you like? What did you like in college? So, did you like communications? Did you like going to classes?
Communications was like the film program, and telecommunications was the TV program. And I came upon telecommunications late, or else that's just what I would have done. I was pretentious and artsy in college.
Yeah.
I joined a frat, and I realized I only did that to sell drugs.
Oh, you sold drugs too?
Yeah, I mean like weed.
Weed, yeah,
And
not-
mushrooms.
okay.
And pills.
You're like in coke, but
And
fucking-
coke.
Yeah, sure.
And meth.
Yeah,
But just weed.
but the light stuff.
Yeah, really just
And you're like heroin. You're like, no, that's where I draw the line.
yeah, that's where I gotta call it.
Yeah. So growing up, did you want to go to Indiana University?
No, I didn't like none of that really mattered to me. I didn't want to go to college, and my parents were like, "That's not even an option."
Yeah.
And then they gave me a lot of grief about how much it cost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, did you have to go to school when you went to college? Or, I mean, did you have to go to work when you had to go to school too?
I mean,
Because there were some of my friends that worked like 2 jobs and went to college.
no, I didn't, but I sold weed, but told my parents that I
Got a job at like Jimmy John's.
played poker online and made a shitload of money.
Did you really?
Yeah, but I also wrote papers for kids in college and made money doing that. I was just hustling.
Yeah.
Because I could smoke weed and write papers and I could put in the minimal effort and get a B- on any anything in arts and sciences. You know what I mean?
So you were like, you ever heard of like retard strength?
Yeah,
You had retard strength when it came to your brain.
yeah. I had mental retard strength.
I was not because I was not good when it came to academics at all. Like
I was just good at bullshitting. You know, I knew the structure of an essay,
Right.
and I knew the little points you needed to
but
get.
could you go out the night before and then do it the next morning before class?
Yeah, but I wasn't a good test taker. Like that was
yeah.
the thing. I could memorize my ass off. But if they, they know that and they try to throw you curveballs to see if you really comprehend the source material. And that's where I would get thrown through a loop. So some classes I'd get A's in, and other classes I'd be like C, and I'd be like, Do I care enough to try to right the ship? And some I did, and most I didn't.
So how did you know when you got done with college that you were going to go do stand-up comedy?
I got about halfway through college in like 7 different majors. I started out a religious studies major.
Religious studies?
Yeah, because
my brother did soil science. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
soil science. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I only did religious studies because it got me into the dorm that I wanted to be in. Because I originally signed up to be an art student, but it put me at this dorm, like almost off campus, with all
That's not fun.
people that, in retrospect, I probably would have gotten along with, but
Didn't want to.
I wanted to be at like I was going out of state. I wasn't psyched to be going because I was mending a broken heart.
Yeah.
And
Where
I
did
just
she go to
wanted
college?
to be. She went to Michigan, and I almost transferred there.
Wow.
And you know what? All right, so
Wow, that would
now
not have worked out.
now
good.
me and her are married.
What?
Yeah,
The one that broke your heart?
the one that broke my heart.
That is a beautiful story.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Do you talk about that on stage?
I got one joke where I'm like, me and my wife dated in high school. We went to prom together, lost our virginities to each other a few weeks ago, and then we broke up, reunited 7 years ago.
You should do is use that story because that's a great story, and add in that you puked on her back. How's anyone going to believe that?
Yeah, that's true.
I make up a lot of stories, and then people are like, "That really happened?" I'm like, "No, dude, it's fucking
You
stand-up
know what's
comedy."
funny? Audiences, the stuff that's real, they're like, there's no way that's true. And the
Right.
stuff that's fake, they're like, I can't believe that really happened. And you're like, well, that's because it didn't. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude, fuck you.
Like, I have a bit about how I put my wiener in a hot dog bun and I sent it to my girlfriend. And I was like, did someone order a dick sandwich? Like, I was joking around, right? And I was high. And she wrote back, no, whatever. People go to me, they go, that's not a real story, right? I go, yeah, dude, I'm a retard. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? All I do is stupid shit for her.
Yeah.
Do you ever do dumb shit for your wife? I'm sure you do. Do you ever say like you lost the baby and then just said like just joking an hour later? Or
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've done that kind of shit before,
that's
but
scary.
I feel bad because she works 4 days a week and
She's a nurse.
she's a nurse practitioner now. She was a nurse in the neonatal ICU, which that's a part of the hospital where babies die.
Right. That's sad.
So you don't want to be playing with somebody's heartstrings.
That's so sad. No,
It's so
yeah,
sad.
God, no, that is awful. I would
Yeah.
never want that job.
But yeah, I fuck with her a little bit. Like,
Does she still like coming to your shows?
she hasn't been to one of my shows since the baby was born.
Oh yeah, so someone's got yeah. How is it looking? How is it trying to find like a babysitter and stuff like that? Is it a pain in the ass?
No, we're really lucky, dude.
Who's watching her right now?
We have a neighbor who we're really lucky. She's just like
She loves the kid.
in her middle age, or like LA. It's not middle age, like 50. That's not middle age.
That's I guess in LA that's old, right?
LA, it's weird.
Like
50-year-olds look like they're in their 30s, but 50 is considered old in LA.
You're what, 33?
35.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I hit 35, that's when I just noticed like my whole body just shifting, everything changing.
It used to be really easy for me to lose weight if I just changed my diet a little bit.
Right.
Because I work out like a maniac.
Yeah, I
which
see you
which
hiking all the
you
time.
wouldn't think. Yeah.
And you love yoga.
I do it all. I climb, I do yoga.
You ever done Pilates?
I love Pilates. It's just too expensive. I gotta sell a
super hard.
show before I do Pilates.
No shit.
It's the best because it's super hard, but you're laying down the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah, but you're using like your core, like you have to like I don't ever work out here a whole lot.
Yeah.
And that's all you're doing is like working that, and then you're working your stomach, and then you can feel like your stomach jiggling a little bit, and you're like, okay.
Your stomach starts to feel like you ever put on one of those cheat belts that's like
The girdle
that
belt.
like shocks you.
Yeah.
It makes your stomach feel like that naturally.
Did you ever have the shake weight?
No, I wish.
Do you remember that thing?
Oh yeah.
People actually used it. People actually. Have you seen the one thing where the guys chew on this thing and it makes your jaw strong, so you get
No.
that cut jaw?
No.
Swear to God.
That's a thing?
yeah, yeah.
Is that like that thing in Japan that it's like
You join
put
it,
it in
and
your
it
mouth
looks like an airplane going
Yeah.
like this, and people says it gets rid of your wrinkles. I'm like, if anything, it looks like it's giving you more wrinkles.
yeah, some of the shit's just too gimmicky. I mean, I did start using under eye cream and I moisturize. I got a whole skincare. I feel like as you get older, the amount of time it takes you to get ready for bed increases probably 10 minutes every year.
Oh, dude, I use those masks now.
Oh, me too.
You like them? Do you feel like they work?
I don't know. I don't know, but you know, if it feels nice, it's relaxing.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're 50 and you don't at least look 40 in this town,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Yeah, you're in
And
big
you got to
trouble.
do whatever you can.
Yeah.
There are many reasons why I don't drink as much anymore.
Yeah.
Part of it is
Makes you look like dog shit.
the biggest it makes you look like dog shit. That is maybe half of why.
Yeah.
If you don't stop drinking at a certain age,
Yeah.
you people can tell.
Totally.
You look weathered, you look bloated, you're red.
Yeah. Yeah. Red.
It's bad. But I still, you know, I cut loose in other ways.
Sure.
But I just don't like feeling hungover.
No, being hungover is the fucking worst, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when you wake up the next day and you're like, you don't know what time it is, and then you have a bunch of responsibilities, and you're like, fuck.
When you have shit that you have to do that's painful enough,
Right.
returning emails,
Or even taking
paying
care of
bills,
taking care of a
a
kid.
baby,
Yeah.
and you have a splitting headache or heartburn, what the fuck are you doing? You're willing to put up with that
Yeah.
just for like a few hours of laughs?
I mean, yeah. Some people are.
Not me, man.
We know a lot of people at the Comedy Store that will fucking just go in every night,
I know. I don't
drink
get it.
every night. Like I don't know how Ron White does it every night,
I don't either, man.
but also he looks weathered. He looks older. And
Yeah,
got
but
those
he's
red
looked
cheeks.
old since he was young.
I know. But I think that's from the drinking.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I've been drinking since I was like 11, 12, 13,
Wow.
something like that, yeah.
You remember the first time you got drunk?
First time I got drunk was so when I go to bar mitzvahs, they afterward at the more religious temples or synagogues, they have what's called fuck, I can't even remember the name for it, but it's like a little reception after the services,
Oh, okay.
and they've got little pastries
Like
and,
little tuna
and wine,
sandwiches, yeah.
like little shot glasses of Manischewitz, which is the worst wine ever. It's so sugary, barely has any alcohol.
But people still bomb them.
Yeah, so I was like maybe 11 or 12. And I'd like stolen my parents' liquor before this and like had sips and thought it was gross, whatever. I remember when I was like 5 or 6, we were at a barbecue and my dad was like, I was like trying to get my dad to let me have his beer. He's like, "You're not going to like it. I'll let you have some," in front of his friends. And I took a sip and then I took another sip and I just started chugging. He's like, all right. I was like, "I do like it. Can I have more?" He's like, "No."
Yeah.
And after the services, I just downing shots of Manischewitz, and then I was
Did
like,
you get buzzed at all?
I got fucked up.
Really? Did you throw up?
No, but I got a headache like an hour later.
Yeah, it's all that sugar. You're coming
Yeah,
down.
It was gross.
But it was the best time ever when you were fucking high at 11 on booze.
the best. The first time I got blackout drunk is when I got my first blowjob. So I was like,
What?
so then I was like, oh, this is what I need to do every single weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the best.
How was your first blowjob?
Mediocre, probably bad. I don't even think I came. I was just glad to get another girl's mouth on my penis. It was more for
Was
me.
she-
It
was
was
she hot?
more. Yeah, she was. I thought she was hot, but I don't know if I looked at pictures of her now if I would. But she was cute. She was definitely cute.
Have you ever hooked up with some real nasties at when you're wasted?
You know what? Like, it took me a while to come into my own with women because I had this impossible standard, and I was a romantic, so I was like always trying
Really?
to go for like.
Taking them out to dinner and shit at first?
Yeah, like girls who were like clearly like I just want to fuck. I was like trying
Like, no,
trying to
pump the
play it
brakes.
slow, and then I got my heart broken with one of those situations where this chick like could have fucked her the first night. She slept over. We were like doing drugs, and she's like wanting to fuck, and I was like, nah, let's take it slow.
Oh.
And then like we hung out again and we fooled around, and then the third time she's like, "Can I buy some pills off you?" And I was like,
Oh.
"Get out."
Yeah.
And I never spoke. And I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. What do I need a girlfriend for? If I meet a girl that I can't live without, maybe, but like, I'm done. So once I changed my attitude towards women and was just like,
Go with
I'm
the
just
flow?
going with the flow.
Yeah.
And like, stopped wanting girls that I thought met my looks and person. Like, I was like, I need a smart girl who's also pretty.
Right.
Or at least that I find attractive. And then once I stopped caring if I find them attractive or not,
Yeah.
and it was like if they come to me and they're interested, why not?
What was your like
Yes, I banged a lot of stinkers.
Yeah, well, dude, I've banged a couple of.
But those are the most fun times.
Dude, those were the most fun chicks.
'Cause I used to do a bit about it where it's just like,
I think I remember that.
You don't care about how you're like, I'll let you know you like being choked. You know, like,
Right. But then also you don't know if they're passed out from you choking them.
well, I'm not,
And that's kind of scary.
I don't have that strong of a grip, but yeah.
Sure.
And they're definitely not passed out because I'm choking them. They're passed out because that's how I found them.
Or because you're that good. So
that was just just to clear the air. That was a bad rape joke. Okay, I've never done that.
Listen,
I've never.
no one's watching anyways. It's fine. So do you remember your first time you went on stage? Where was it? How'd it go?
First time, I did stand up like at parties in college. I did sketch and improv in college.
You did it at parties in college?
Like I would do bits like crowd work at parties. People, because like halfway through college, I decided I'm going to move to LA, and I was like, I want to do something in comedy, but I didn't know what. So I started taking improv classes at Second City in Detroit during the summer. And I started
Second City in Detroit?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I don't think it's there anymore, but they did. A lot of good people came out of it.
Oh, I bet.
Mary Beth from Workaholics, Jerry Minor, Keegan Michael Key.
No way.
To name a few. Yeah. So I started taking classes there, and I joined a sketch team at Indiana, and I took production classes where you had to write and perform and make sketches and a pilot and stuff, and
that's cool.
I loved it.
So do you still know how to write like a pilot format and all that stuff?
Yeah, I still do that. I'm not as passionate about it, but probably like once a year I get the itch to do it, and I'll write something.
Are you currently pitching anything right now?
Once I get some new management, yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. So do you go on the road mostly to make the money for right now with Pauly, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the road with Pauly a little bit. I go on the road with Adam Ray quite a bit.
That's good.
And Josh Wolf more recently, and sometimes Bobby Lee or Steve Byrne.
That's cool.
Because I play with the Asian crowd.
Of course. You get some Asian bits?
Yeah, because we both love the same kind of food.
Because you can speak Japanese.
Actually, one of my first bits, so you asked about the first time I went on
please.
stage. It was at Westwood Brewco at the open mic.
God, which was a brutal.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But it was the best in the karaoke room.
Yeah.
I would crush in the karaoke room.
I've seen you crush in the karaoke room.
Dude, I want to start a show. Josh Adam Myers does the fucking jam, but only like 7 people get to do it.
Right.
I want to do a show called Jokey where you do like 5 minutes and then you just fucking do your karaoke song.
But that's great. That's all I do with my stupid cash tab show. You do jokes, and then you go up and answer trivia, and if you win, you make money. If you lose, they make money. That's
awesome.
That's it.
Dude, you can't do that. Dude, you're stealing my format. Come on, dude. Not cool.
That's a great Josh Adam Myers impression.
Dude, he sounds nothing like me.
That is really good.
I don't sound like this. Dude, I just talk regular like this. I just talk like a regular human being.
That is fucking perfect. I've never heard you do that before. Who else can you do?
I do a lot of people. I do mostly obscure people, so I've been trying to work on more. You know what I realized? I do from having a baby, I do Elmo. Hi, Brady. Oh wait, that wasn't. That was more Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Hi, Brady.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Do you want to come pay $4,000 to come see me in person? Or I do Elmo so I'll talk. My daughter's obsessed with Elmo, and I'll be like, "Hi, Shiloh. I'm Elmo. Do you want to play?"
That's pretty good too. Can you do any other? Because I know you watch
do
a lot
DeVito
of fucking.
A lot.
Let's hear DeVito.
I haven't sweat like this in a room since I've been in Nam, when I was with this whore in 1994.
That's great.
My
too.
allergies are bad, so I'm
Sure.
I
get it.
Don't use the allergies as an excuse, Danto. You know you can do it better, but you're not putting in the effort.
That's great, and also the face you make is great too.
I fall asleep every night watching Always Sunny. It's just I've seen every episode, so I don't care what happened.
Have you seen the one that I did? Who pooped the bed?
Of course I have. That's one of the best episodes. And I remember at Pollock, I used to always bring you up. He's in the best episode of the best show, Brady Matthews.
Well, that's when I used to work. What if you could be on any show right now? Like if you could write or be on any show right now or in the past, what show would it be? I think you'd be great in The Office.
Yeah, oh, I would love that. I'd love to be The Office, Always Sunny, Sopranos. I could be like a guy that get like introduced and then whacked within one episode.
You have like you'd have a name like with two of the first name.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's Sam.
yeah,
Or,
yeah,
or
yeah,
like like drip.
yeah.
This is twinkle. I don't know.
That's Spicy Tim.
Spicy Tim. Yeah, I love that. I've never seen one episode of The Sopranos.
That's Sausage Fingers.
You ever seen The Wire?
I tried watching The Wire. Everyone's like, yeah, the first few episodes are slow, and I've watched the first 3 episodes 3 times. And they're right, it's slow, and I just couldn't get through them.
There's other episodes too, though.
I know.
You watched the first three times?
Yeah,
You
just
had-
like years apart.
I was gonna say you can watch the other ones too.
I know.
So
But I
if you,
never got through them.
if you could write or be on any show, what would it be?
Currently,
Yeah, I don't
Always Sunny is still on, so that, or
I don't even know any new comedies that are out right now. Couldn't tell
I'm
you.
trying to think. You know, this sketch show on Netflix called I Think You Should Leave is one of the funniest
Have you
things
seen that, Alex?
I've ever seen. And it's by a guy who's from Detroit,
No shit.
Tim Robinson, yeah. And it is,
I think you should leave, and it's a bunch of celebrities.
it's just a
that are
bunch
in
of
it too, right?
sketches. There's some celebrities in it. Andy Samberg's in it. A few,
And
what's
they're
her name
good
from
sketches,
SNL?
though.
Dude, it's like a 90% hit rate. Some of them you watch and you're like, that's funny. But most of them you're just fucking dying.
Give me an example of one of them, if you could,
Uh,
because I want to see it.
the first one on the first episode, he's at a job interview and it looks like it's going well. It's a little awkward, but it's cool. And then he goes to leave. They're at a coffee shop, and he pulls the door, and it's obviously a push. And the guy who interviews, it's a push, and he doesn't want to look stupid. He's like, oh no, it goes both ways. I was here yesterday, and so he's just pulling it open, breaking the door frame, like sweating, drooling, trying to pull it open, not breaking eye contact with the other guy. And then he finally gets it open. He's like, "Well, hope to hear from you."
That's the whole thing.
That's one sketch, yeah.
That's great. So they're
It's
quick.
so
So they're
funny.
quick, right?
Some of them quicker than others. There's my favorite one is this car focus group.
Car
you
focus
just gotta
group?
you just gotta watch it. It's in like the 3rd episode. It's unbelievable.
What do you think of clean comedy? Do you like clean comedy?
Jim Gaffigan's one of my favorite comics.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. I think there's nothing worse than when you go to a show and they're like, well, also, hey, gotta be clean.
And you're like, oh, hey, real quick, should have told me that before I got here.
Also, like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because some people are so fucking touchy and so sensitive that they can't handle, like the fuck word, they can't handle.
But it's so weird. How is fuck still a bad word? Like, who's offended by fuck? There's so many things that offend people now. Whether it's like gender related or race related
Right.
disability related, whatever, ethnicity, anything, politics.
you heard-
everything's so touchy. How are we still like? I was on board until he said the F word.
Right. Well, also,
Couldn't he just say friggin'? No, you know what?
Friggin'
offends me more than fuck.
Yeah, friggin's not friggin' funny
No, it's not.
at all.
No, hearing that it's the corniest thing you could say.
Did you know in basketball the owners they're going to take away the word owners now because it offends a lot of the basketball players
What is
because
it?
they makes them feel like they're slaves. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
So they can't use owners now, so they have to use like management or something. They're trying to think of a different name instead of owners now. You can't say owners.
That's fucked.
Isn't that fucking weird?
But the clean thing, it's like everything. It seems like so many things are off limits. Politics, religion.
well, then what's the point of doing comedy anymore if
ethnicity.
you can't hit any of those
that like sexual stuff seems to be the safest.
I guess, yeah.
Here's the thing about clean. I'm trying to do more clean stuff, and when I say that, I don't mean like inoffensive stuff. I mean just like away from sexual, because like the sexual joke material I do isn't like that dirty,
right.
and it's like kind of clever in that as far as you can be in sexual material. But you watch some people go up talking only about like dicks and dick pics and vaginas and send nudes and sex, and it's like it gets cringe. Sometimes it depends who it is.
Right. Because I talk a lot.
Sometimes it gets cringy, and you're just like, well, it's not even that I'm imagining you having sex. It's just like the way you talk about it is cringy.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
like you're trying to prove something.
Yeah, especially a lot of the newer comics or like, I won't name names, but people that are kind of getting a little bit of heat will go up there and do some of the hackiest fucking sex shit, and you're like, I was telling that joke when I was fucking started 6 months into comedy, but since they got a little heat and they're on TV, they can go up and use that same joke.
Dude, it's insane.
It is
like,
insane.
A lot of these kids that get picked now, and I say kids because they're
they are
like
kids.
23, 24, 25, and they're not ready, but they get a little heat. They get a rep that likes the way they look or whatever, and they're out there and they are doing shit that you're just like, this is unimaginative, this is hacky, this is dated or whatever. And it's just like, but they're gonna fucking book a show.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy because you asked me about the first mic I did. It was at Westwood Bruco.
Right.
I brought about 25 people to come see me.
Did you really?
Yeah. And everyone else there fucking hated me.
So you started comedy here?
I started doing stand-up here, yeah.
Yeah.
I got hired to work at National Lampoon, so I was still doing sketch stuff with them.
That's right.
And I started doing stand-up like 2 months after I moved here in 2006. And one of my first joke was, I look like a famous comedian, Janine Garofalo.
Was that one of your first jokes?
I think that's almost everyone's first joke is like, who I look like so-and-so married so-and-so. And I try to avoid it now, but like when I hear people in the audience murmur like Ron Jeremy or like Super Mario, it annoys me. First of all, I fucking hate Ron Jeremy. He's so disgusting.
He is
but I have to address it just so I stop hearing people yell it out.
Yeah.
But it's like such a beginner comic thing to be like do a bit about who you look like.
Wait, so you do a bit where you bring the people on stage.
That's only
how does that work, and walk me through that?
It's only at shows that have been going on for a long time that I'm on like the end of the lineup that are ill-attended.
Right.
Where it's like something needs to happen in this room to wake them up or to get them engaged.
Right.
So it mostly happens at the Comedy Store late at night.
How do you get people to come up there on stage? Because if you asked me to come up there on stage, I'd be like, no.
Well,
absolutely not.
That does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And
where you don't get any, so where do you go from there?
No, where I get a few people, but not everybody.
Right.
But it's the kind of thing where I'm like, all right, let's cut the shit. Let's get down to it right now. Who in here works in the entertainment industry? I got to figure out how much effort needs to go into this right now. And then I ask them a few questions, like a few people are, and they're like, sound mixer. I'm like, can't help my career next. And,
yeah.
I ask a few more people, like, what do you produce or what do you produce? Carbon dioxide? Zing! and I'm like, all right, here's the deal. I'm going to give you guys, since most of you don't, I'm going to give you some insider info about how this business works. Familiar with social media?
Right.
It's used to make people look better than they really are.
Right, totally.
Especially at comedy shows, they'll take pictures of everyone on stage, and all you see is them in a goofy act out, like...
Yeah, killing it.
And then they'll post a caption like, killing it, or like, thanks for supporting live comedy, 3 sold-out shows, but what you don't see is all the empty seats.
Right, for sure.
And I use social media to make myself look worse so that when people meet me in person, they're like, oh, he's not so bad.
Right.
So I want you guys to come on stage with me to prove to the world that a packed audience can't fit on this fucking stage. And we'll take a picture, and it'll be a good time.
And people do it.
And I'd say it's got like a 75% success rate. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because every time I've seen that, like when I'm, like you and I get similar spots in terms of like either we'll get the really late fucking spots,
yeah,
at the store, or we'll get the early show.
Yeah,
but we'll get like the 7:45 spot.
Right.
Which is fine. I like those spots.
Yeah, you have a whole night ahead of you that way.
I like those spots.
You get to go to bed at a reasonable time.
Totally. But sometimes I'll see you post stuff, and I'll still be laying in bed, and I'm like, he's still up there.
Yeah, I
he's
know.
still up there, dude.
Dude, the other night I stayed there until Chappelle was there, and he did 70 minutes.
Yeah, he did almost 2 hours, right?
Yeah. And Sarah Silverman popped in, Jimmy Carr popped in. It was a crazy lineup. But then a lot of people, like, I got there at 10, and the Sklar brothers were about to go on because some people hadn't shown up yet. Then I went, I hung out in the main room, green room. I walked to Pink Dot. I talked to a few people along the way.
Right.
It's like 11:30. I go back into the OR. They're still waiting to go up because Chappelle came in.
So what time did you end up going up? 1:30?
So they went up at like 11:45.
Yeah.
And they were 6 ahead of me.
Oh,
and
fuck.
and everybody
What was your original
came
time?
in midnight.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up going on at like 1:30.
It's the worst, dude.
And I ended up being there until like 2:30 and had to wake up with the baby the next day.
At what time?
7:30.
I mean, that's not bad. At least you, but it's not like you waited around and drank the whole time and then
No.
went home and you were hung out like that. That'd be the worst.
In the old days, I would be drinking and/or smoking. Go eat, get home at 5,
Yeah.
wake up at 2.
Do you remember the first time you were like really drunk on stage and you were like, oof, this is
I
tough.
never really drank on stage, but there was this one time I got really drunk because the girl I was dating at the time told me she made out with Fred Durst that night.
What is going on?
Yeah.
What is with these chicks?
Yeah.
Why would she tell-
aside
why-
from my wife,
Why would she tell you Fred Durst?
I maybe didn't have the best judgment when it came to who I surrounded myself with. This was just a sweet girl. She was troubled though, and I knew it, and I
Yeah.
was okay with it.
Welcome to LA.
It was fun. I was troubled too, so whatever.
Yeah.
So I got really drunk, and then like right before Dawn went on, I did 35 minutes, and I just did impressions of everybody on the lineup that night because I was pissed. I was pissed that I got bumped, and like I was just like doing crude impressions of everybody that was on there.
Yeah.
It was crushing.
You can do a Brody, can't you?
Yeah, oh yeah. Wait.
You got it.
Brady gets it. Student athlete. Yes.
That is so good.
818 till I die.
That is so good.
Man, ever since he died, I just think of like I thought of a joke the other day, and I was like, "That's such a Brody joke." It was about my daughter. I was like, "My daughter took her first 5 steps today. Yes, only 7 more to go to finish her AA program."
That is great. Is it AA 12 steps?
Yes, 7 plus 5.
Okay, I didn't do math. Oh my god.
I do too many math jokes.
I thought you said 5 plus 2. It's 7. Okay, got it. I can't believe I always think about Brody, and I'm like, I can't believe he's still gone, which sucks because he was one of the first comedians I met at the Comedy Store that made me feel, welcome.
Brady, you got it.
You got it. Do you remember the first time you did stand up at the Comedy?
People, the non-athletes don't get it. We're jocks, but that's not all we are.
They don't hit like I hit.
They don't throw. They don't get pitching mechanics. You got it.
Do you remember he would go on stage and just start warming up as a pitcher? He'd go through his whole mechanical thing.
Stay with me.
Stay with me. Where are you going? And people would start walking out. Love that shit. Do you remember the first time you went up at the Comedy Store? How it went? Did it go good?
So I did that open
Potluck?
mic at Bruco, and I did some more Bruco and open mics at the Improv, and met like Francisco and a few other people that I don't think are around anymore. Will Tilley, you remember Will Tilley?
Kinda.
He was a weirdo. He thought he was Andy Kaufman, but he'd just go on stage and not talk.
Oh, I do remember that guy.
He was bald but had long hair on the sides, long straight hair.
I forgot about that guy. Remember the kid with the big hand?
Yeah, he died.
He died too.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck. There was a kid
Couldn't
that
follow
huge
Angelo.
hand. Do you ever hear about him? No, no one can follow Angelo.
Well,
really.
Angelo died like a month before, and then he died, and no one talked about it because we were still sad about Angelo.
Terrible.
I know, so sad.
And then we went to go see Josh in the hospital, and then
And then he used the money from the GoFundMe
to use his
to buy a
brand new
Cadillac, and everyone's like, "All right, we're not supporting you."
Yeah, you're a piece of
But
shit.
you know what? If you think about it, it's like you go through something traumatic like that, you gotta have something.
Also, it's your money. Do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
We're comics, so we're obviously gonna be hypercritical and hypocritical.
Of course.
But the first time I went up at the store, so I would go and sign up and not get on, and I was the store is probably, other than Comedy Cellar, and maybe even more so, the most intimidating comedy venue in the world.
Comedy Store?
Yeah.
110%, dude. Every time I saw Bobby Lee there, I was like, I would get so scared for some fucking reason.
The first time I ever went there, Dice was on stage performing for 17 people.
And you're like, oh, fuck.
I was
That
like,
can't
this
be
is
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
My friend from Detroit took me there to meet with Mike Young, who was there.
Oh, God.
And I was like, this is amazing. This is the cool.
He's like, what's up? Well, what's happening?
Yeah, that's
going
real.
on?
That's a really good
Dude,
one.
of course, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking Mike
It's
Young.
amazing.
Every time we
Love
see him, he's
Mike.
like, Brady, what's up, dude? When am I going to do your Cash Tab show, dude? I'm like, fuck, what? Get out of here, you fucking dude.
But the first time I went up, I'd started interning for Pauly.
Yeah, that's cool. Was he cool to work
Another
with?
friend of mine from Detroit met him at a club called, it was Area at the time. I don't know what it's called now. It's that one on La Cienega. And he was interning for Pauly and didn't want to keep doing it, so he pawned me off on him, and I would work at National Lampoon all day and then go work for Pauly at night.
You know what though? I would be like, this is fucking great. Of course, I'd go work for Pauly because I can get it in at the comedy store.
And I did, and so all those times signing up for the open mic and not getting on, I just went straight to friends and family. But that really pissed off
Oh, for sure.
all the people that worked
No one
there.
likes a shortcut. No one likes to see anyone get a shortcut, especially if they don't know you.
Right.
Like when I remember Martindale got passed, dude. You like.
Oh, I remember that.
Immediately, everyone hated his guts.
him. Yeah,
Hated him.
until they met him and saw him and knew that.
Great
he was,
guy. One of my best friends.
Yeah, same. Love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And he was like one of the last people to be passed by Mitzi.
Right. And then Tommy came into the mix, which ruined all of us for about 5 years straight.
Yeah.
You have a Tommy impression?
Well,
Wow.
Brady, I have plans for you, Kay.
Okay.
You're good looking. You have hair confidence. Okay, that's not something everybody has. You have a look. Good looking men are the darlings of the nightclub industry. I know. I used to be the maitre d' at T-Birds, male dance review in Jacksonville. Okay.
That's so good. He used to say,
Hold on, Comedy Store. This is Tommy. How can I help you? All right, bro. Cool. Good talk.
yeah, totally. That means go away.
Yeah.
And then he used to say to me, I go, Tommy, listen, dude, you've been telling me that I'm going to get passed for the past fucking year and a half. He goes, well, Brady, it goes like this. It goes peaks and then valleys. And then sometimes there's like, hills on the way. And sometimes when you have to stop at like the hill to get a meadow, to get some water out of the meadow. I go, stop the shit, dude. I go, shut the fuck up.
He pulled
I go,
that shit on me, too.
Yeah, I go, what the fuck are you talking about? Hills and meadows and roads and... I go, what? Should I go traveling? What are you trying to say?
In 2010, in like the spring, started like a really bad time in my life. I got arrested. My parents split up and blamed it on me.
Did they really?
Yeah. And then it was just like a domino effect of bad thing after bad, like little things, but just like loss. I was taking a lot of L's.
Yeah.
But around that time, my stand-up started getting a little better because I was like dealing with the pain and I was channeling it through my stand-up, and it was cathartic every time I went on stage. And Tommy was like, well, you're the next to be passed. I want to pass you with one of the people you started out with. So the next person, it'll be you and them. Francisco gets passed.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the right time. It's got to be organic. It'll be you and Melissa and Adam Ray. They got passed.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, well, what was I gonna say? I'm just passing him to pass him with them too. You got to have a moment.
Right. And then
This went on for a fucking year and a half.
Yeah, I know.
And then I left for like 5 months.
Right.
I went on the road, and then I was like, part of it was I needed to prove to myself
That you were worth
that
it.
I could do stand-up in L.A. and not depend on the Comedy Store.
Right.
And I did, and I got better. I went up every night at any random place that I could, and I went back, and I crushed.
Yeah.
And then the next week was Names Night, and he didn't pass me before that. Everyone we started with, I think we were on the same.
Even Matt Edgar got passed before us.
He was one of the people. So it was like Benji, Matt Edgar, all these people that I started with. He told me I was going to get passed with, and then after he passed all of them and not me, I was like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, he didn't pass me. But then the week after, he did. Right after Names Night, right after all the people I started with got their names on the wall.
Yeah.
In one night, except I had to wait a whole other year.
So what was the moment that you got passed?
I went up after Names Night, and I crushed. And then somebody had told me that Tommy told them that I'm just an actor and that I'm not really a stand-up. I'm not committed to stand-up, and my purpose is to be an actor, and I'm only doing this until I get acting work, then I'm going to quit. So I crush, and then I go, thank you, but don't applaud for me. Don't laugh for me, because I'm just an actor. I'm just an actor. Not necessary.
Did he hear that?
I heard that, and then he called me in for a meeting the next day. And he's like, well, I'm going to pass you. And then he proceeded to insult me for the next 20 minutes. But then he's like, but you're passed. Calling your avails. You're getting your name on the wall. You're ready. And then that night, it was like Dean Gelber, who was the general manager of the Comedy Store at the time, was leaving. And so they had a roast for him. And I went up on that roast as his ex-girlfriend, and I crushed. And I was like, all right, I belong now.
Yeah, that's cool. It took Louis Anderson to fucking get my name on that wall.
Really?
Yeah, he had to go tell Tommy. He's like, "Why isn't Brady Matthews a regular?" And he's like, "Well, Brady, looks like you're past now." And I'm like, "Fuck you, dick."
That's so. There was no process with Tommy. It was just politics.
Totally.
There was no like you showcase and then you showcase again and you're in. It was like, well, you got to play shadow games.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But the first time I went up there, I did well.
Yeah.
I always had friends that came to open mics to see me, and that always helped. Even though now I hate it when my friends come and see me because I'm like, there are stakes.
I don't tell anyone. to
Yeah,
come
me either.
At
I
all.
hate it. But my friends used to, because it was like the early days in LA, no one had responsibilities. It was like they almost wanted to do it, but they were doing it vicariously through me.
For sure. Or they would say, I think I'm going to do the open mic.
Yeah,
I'm going to sign up for it. And you're like,
Sometimes I had friends that did.
good luck, man.
Yeah.
Really, I wish you the best.
But I did well, and then I was leaving, and Tom's like, hey, you can't just come and do a spot and leave. You got to hang out here. This is an artist colony. People aren't going to accept you if you Paulie's little boy toy.
You're like, what? You're like, I have shit to do, motherfucker.
Yeah, I had 2 jobs.
Well,
But then he told everybody that I was Paulie's spy. And so nobody liked me because I got in easily, and then they thought I was like feeding Paulie info, which I wasn't. But then the first time I went on the road with Paulie, he called up Tommy. He's like, dude, watch this. He called Tommy. He's like, dude, Tommy, what's up? You smoking weed right now, you fucking pothead? Dude, all you do is fucking smoke weed and you fucking don't do your job, right, Sandy?
oh, shit.
I was like, oh, fuck.
So now he's fucking pulling you into the whole fucking bit.
Yeah. But you know what? The more it's weird with Tommy. The more you fucked with him, the more he gave you spots.
Oh, for sure.
Like the more you got on his bad side, the more he.
And the more I got pissed off at him, he was like, all right, so have you gone down to La Jolla? And I'm like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
It's crazy. It was crazy.
Anyways, let's get out of here. This has been Sandy Danto. Where can people see you? Where can they find you on Instagram, Twitter?
At Sandy Danto on Instagram, but also at MFers Podcast and at Watch Me Chill. It's my monthly talk show at the Improv, which I'm not going to be doing too much longer, just maybe 2 more.
Why?
Because I want to do it as a
a lot of
pilot
work.
presentation, which is the only reason I started doing it in the first place at the Comedy Central stage, and then be done with it because doing a monthly show is like
It's a pain in the ass.
so stressful.
You have no idea.
Because I'm not like it's tougher. I don't have stand up on it unless it's like a huge name. Because I'm trying to do something. I want to do like a live stream talk show.
Yeah.
So it's stressful to like book because like it's hard to get the people I want to get to just do that.
Yeah. Because also
And then
most of our friends that are doing bigger things are
Right.
also a lot busier than all of us.
Right. And then you have people drop out last minute. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, my podcast, MFR, is a parenting podcast. And
What about Instagram?
at Sandy Danto.
Okay.
Check out my treadmill videos.
Yes, they're very good. Thanks for doing this, man. I
Dude,
appreciate
it was a
it.
blast. Thanks for inviting me.
My pleasure. And please subscribe, share, tell
Rate
your
and
friends,
review.
write a review. Find me on comedypopup.net. This has been my first with Brady Matthews. I love you.